Hey everybody, welcome to Morethanmeetstheseguys and Exosquad Fridays as we close in towards the end of season one. I'm here with Jehu and Boo of the AxonUnderground.com.
Howdy.
And
How's it
Tom,
going?
good. Tom's going to join us a little later. He
I thought we were doing Mask. I watched Mask, not Exosquad.
do you hate yourself?
I
Yes, after watching Mask.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a hard time keeping up with what episode we're on of just this one show. So I can only imagine with you guys where you doing like two or three other things. It's
Oh yeah.
like what am I doing today? Where am I?
Well,
Yeah.
it's even crazier on the ones that like we're watching out of the air to order,
Oh,
Right.
GoBots?
like GoBots. Yeah, because some of those things are just completely out of whack the way they were aired.
Well, as long as it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Unlike Mask, which you're watching in an air to order. And yeah,
I don't
we
think it matters
it
with
doesn't.
Mask.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter if you approach the dumpster fire from the sides or the front or the back.
Or
It's
from
still a dumpster
within
fire.
the dumpster.
Yeah, you hope to be within the dumpster by the end of the episode.
The calls are coming from inside the dumpster.
Oh God. But yeah, so as opposed to that, I mean that is actually this episode of X Squad, there's just like once again, there's so much going on the entire episode. It doesn't let up.
They really went for it in this episode.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
like this opening scene, just the going around the canyon thing, flying thing. It looked like the pod races like 6 years before the pod races.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah, and they're like being chased by those purple Neo E-frames, and they spin. They come around to turn, and the rocks fall on one of them. And I love the immediately when that happens. There's another one of those little toes clip the rocks and goes over also. The other two are like, oh wait, we need a little clearance over these rocks. Hold on, let's back up. Um, but yeah, they're just being chased all over through these canyons, constantly being hunted down, and yeah. There's also the point where he like DeLeon goes up and says, I keep trying to get all the Resolute. They keep saying the ship's computer says no such mission.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not good. And
Right.
Well, I like when they're being pursued through the canyon and Marsh like flies up to draw their fire
yeah.
so the rest of the squad can turn and fight. And Bronsky burps, so he does his like battle cry.
Right.
Ugh. Yeah, then he as they're like trying to they're realizing there's something going on, like he has Bronsky like a little leave a proximity mine as they try to escape into the cave. And
Yeah,
then
they're
like
playing Goldeneye through the
yeah,
canyon.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
this is a very N64 chase.
Yeah,
the yeah, then
I
he's
was
like
waiting for someone to yell "do a barrel roll."
I smell a rat. A rat named Marcus. And we already know they're finding out now.
Yeah, but also you're like, duh.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Right.
Why Marcus doesn't like you guys.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
the fact that he spoke to you should have been your first clue.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's when Marcus is making this big announcement to the entire fleet. And he's saying like, we will take back Earth. And we
Oh
will
yeah,
yeah, we will liberate our home planet. And he's telling him he's basically saying like, here is my proposal. You don't really have a choice. So
And
let's go.
oh
like
yeah.
I've said about him before, the more worked up he gets, the more southern he gets.
Oh
And
man.
in this speech, he was just full on Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I kept waiting for him to say, I'll say.
He broadcast that memo so strongly that even Phaeton got it.
Right.
Like, ooh, I heard something. Is that you?
Like no,
The
they literally reported it to him. Like they picked up the transmission and
oh
like, oh
yeah,
yeah, they're going for Earth. Well,
the
thanks.
Jovian spies were like they had some I guess spy satellites on the moon. They're like, oh yeah, they're leaving. They're coming over here. Like that
I
makes
bet
no
it wasn't
sense.
even that. His dumbass probably did it on a unsecure channel.
I think it was in the spot where Phaeton was basically like, this is so stupid, it has to be a trick, right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
like this doesn't make any sense. Are
Right.
they really this dumb?
Like it has no logic. It must be a trick. Like, no, it's just Marcus is in control of the fleet right now. but they back in the brig though. Takagi finds Weston, and they trying to form a plan. Like, what are we gonna do? And they go see Admiral Winfield, and he's like, "I hope I'm wrong about Marcus being as dumb as I think he is."
Yeah,
But
he's hoping that, for the best, that okay,
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong and he's right. Let's hope that's the case,
Right.
because
yeah, essentially, it's like,
otherwise we're all dead.
yeah, because we don't have a choice. We're devoted to this now.
And I mean, the first clue that, Marcus was dumb is that he let Winfield be among the other like
Right.
prisoners.
Right.
Like
Right.
like he should have been separated from all the others,
He
because
should have
Right.
been confined to his own quarters.
yeah. But let's put him in there with all his loyalists. What could
Yeah,
go wrong there?
Right.
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna ever say Marcus is a smart man. I'm not a
Yeah.
smart man, Jenny. And yeah, he's like they also don't know that what's going on with Able Squad. Like Takagi and Weston, like I fear they're already dead.
Yeah,
Like,
Winfield
God,
feels already, because he knows they were gone
yeah,
to Mars. So
And Takagi's having problems thinking anyway because of all his lust.
yeah.
yeah,
Like
No
he keeps
joke.
thinking
He's like,
everything she says. Does this mean kiss?
yeah,
We can
he's
just
like,
kiss
oh,
now?
I've heard of this cougar thing. I'm all about this. Let's go.
yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, no, 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 hands off, big guy. Typhonus comes in there though with the whole like thing with Phaeton, and he's like, good news, Phaeton. We've secured the little squad that was on Mars, and we have them trapped. We're gonna hunt them down soon. And Phaeton's like, no, 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 that's insignificant. We have
Yeah.
the whole fleet coming at us.
Right.
Pull all your people out; they'll be fine. We're like, what are they gonna do, really?
We're not worried about like 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, who were beat up and shot up. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
go get all your E-frames and go get your ships. We're gonna go take care of the rest of the fleet right now. This is gonna be where we're gonna like win the war.
I mean,
Which
definitely he needed a guy to say to him, okay, but those guys, they're the main characters. They're in the title screen. You
he
should pay
didn't
attention
know the main character syndrome yet.
to them.
Phaeton thinks he's the main character.
Right.
Uh,
Well, he
I
is on
also
the
like
title
when he
screen
goes
too.
to the trouble to use his power suit to burn the note.
that was just flexing. He's like,
Yeah, that really was
yes.
just flexing.
Yeah. Ooh, let me use my powers. Yeah, man. Yeah, and they're in the cave though, and field repairs are not going well. They're like, you fly? She's like, I don't know. Maybe if someone who actually knew how to work on E-frames was here, like Weston. Me? No. I'm like welding things. I'm just hitting it with a welder. I don't know if I'm fixing anything.
I laughed at this part when she goes up to Bronsky and she's like, well, where's that screwdriver? And Bronsky burps, and I was just waiting for him to go, I drank it,
Right.
Don't worry, it'll come out later. You'll know.
Yeah.
That
Oh
that's
no, like he actually had like vodka and orange juice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he
Oh,
was
there's
like,
that screwdriver.
I was about to use that. And I was like, for what? Shotgunning?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a flashback to airplane. My drinking problem.
Well, and then Marcella, they make a comment that it's quiet as a mouse outside, and he goes, well, how quiet is a mouse?
How
And then
quiet is a mouse?
Bronsky burps and goes, quieter than that.
I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, come on, dude. You know what a mouse is. Like, I know you have some cultural things and stuff, but
Yeah.
you've been around enough to have met a mouse.
I don't know, man. Maybe like they can't survive on Mars. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I guess when you're terraforming, you get to decide, which animals make it over.
Well,
you're
except
careful.
when you accidentally take over like eggs of like 1 billion mosquitoes over to Venus and let them thrive out there. No
Yeah.
predators.
Well, I guess the reason I think he's probably seen a mouse is like he was just with those like cave fighters on Earth.
There you go.
There surely was some mice there.
Especially in the sewers.
Right.
But maybe he doesn't realize how quiet they are.
Maybe he
ate 'em
doesn't
all.
realize which ones are mice. Maybe he thought those were like,
All
I don't
these
know,
rats.
squirrels. Or
He was in
eagles.
Chicago. There's no mice down in those sewers. Those are full blown rats.
So that's a good point.
Those are alligators in those sewers, man. Come on. But a little side note, you know the movie Alligator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone does when growing up. It was one of those things where, we all saw it. It kind of traumatized us not to be in the toilet too long because it was going to come out of the toilet, obviously. So I was at work one day or something, and my wife's like, "I just watched Alligator. That was the best movie I've seen in a long time." Like, did you watch the same movie?
Oh, I
And
love that movie.
the movie's hilarious, especially there's the alligator in the pool and the kids on the
Yeah,
diving board.
the walk the plank. Yeah.
Oh, she was like, I love it. I want to watch it again. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I
Well,
guess
didn't one of
I'll.
the universities in Florida get it as their mascot?
Oh
Like
yeah,
the prop?
yeah.
Yeah.
University of Florida's Gators.
Yeah.
Scambia High School's also the Gators. The same colors pretty much as the University of Florida.
But yeah, they actually gave them that alligator from the movie as their mascot. And they'd bring it
Did
out during the
they?
football games and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a really good. It's actually a really good a piece of a set piece or whatever. They were commenting how good it looks because in those scenes where it's like showing up at the wedding and it starts chomping into wedding guests and stuff. It looks really good as an alligator, as a monster alligator.
It's also a movie best enjoyed on VHS.
Everything like that. I will completely agree with you, and I will say that every horror movie I've ever seen is best enjoyed on VHS.
Mm.
I
I
can't
think
tell you. Hmm?
I don't know if high def has been a friend to a lot of 80s stop motion. Like,
Oh
like
no, not at
Ed
all.
209 when he falls down the
No.
stairs doesn't look impressive at
No.
all anymore. And when I was a kid, I was like, that's the most real thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, like, okay, the only exception I'll say to that is Evil Dead when they start melting. It looks really good in high def because you can see all the intricacies they've done.
Right.
But you want a little fuzziness from some of the stuff, honestly.
Right.
Hellraiser, I can't tell you how many times I watched it on VHS. I that Hellraiser 2 was a big one for me. Hellraiser, the original one, man, I watched that thing constantly. And
Hey,
hmm?
this thing I'm about to say may need to be cut out.
Back in the cave, JT Marsh is like, hey guys, we're probably gonna die here. We have a few options. We try to fix the E-frames and go out and go through the atmosphere and get chopped up by a Y-wing squadron, which once again are the coolest ships in the show. Or we starve and Brosty's like, oh, what? No,
I
starve.
love this
Not
because you
starving.
you see he doesn't say it out loud, but you see Bronsky have his first existential crisis. He was like, "How does one burp when they have no food? You
I
can't
think he was
burp
trying to
when you
figure out who
starve.
he was going to
Starve,
eat first.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I like JT. I can't really. Marcel is big. I could eat him for a while. Uh,
Will
uh,
he grow his arm back if I eat it?
Right.
Torres will definitely fight me back, and De Leon's kind of scrawny. Okay, I gotta go with that. Yeah, I can see it. You're as he's sitting here eating like a looks like a protein bar, like those
Right.
chocolate peanut butter protein bars, which is probably
Yeah.
what it is essentially.
Mhm.
I'm surprised he doesn't have like a full on sub sandwich, like a foot long over there.
Yeah,
I
he's sorry. Go
I
ahead.
bet he just replaces his protein bars with like Snickers.
Yeah.
Probably. He kind of reminds me. Who's the guy who hates robots from Transformers Animated?
Oh, Captain Fanzone?
Fanzone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could. He's like Captain Fanzone in an E-frame. You expect him to have like a brown paper wrapped sub with the lettuce stuff falling out like a
Right.
Dagwood or something.
Pick it up at a gas station
Oh
somewhere.
God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Truck
makes.
stop food. Yeah.
He says the egg salad is expired, but I went ahead and bought it anyways. I figure I'll be okay. Yeah.
I nuked it an extra 30 seconds just in case.
So yes, the third option is to make an impression. At least go out, fighting with this. So I honestly can't deny that's a bad idea because you're gonna go out rather than dying, needlessly.
Yeah,
Freaking
they're gonna try
go for it.
to
Yeah.
give him the best punch they can.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he starts forming a plan and like, okay, we already know that there's this complex, this warehouse. Well, figure there's a brood chamber right here. Marcella, you like to kill your own people. You and DeLeon, you're gonna hit the brood center.
Yeah.
Why would you send the guy to kill his own people? It's like, hey, Evan, I know you really like to kill your own people, so I'm gonna go have you just bomb this massive metroplex of a city.
Right.
Is
No,
it
no.
cool?
He wants you to attack the prenatal ward.
Actually, yeah, you're not wrong. I want you to go to floor 3 with this bomb strapped to your chest and go crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's I think it's the third floor of the natal stuff. So it's the third or fourth floor. I can't remember. It's been like, God, 16, 17 years
But
since I was there.
but yeah, that's basically yeah. You're going to the baby ward and
Yeah.
blow up all of them baby Neos in there.
All those dads who are out there holding their kids, like, I'm so happy. I've never been happier in my life. Yeah, they're all gonna die. So just kill them all. That's
Right.
what he's telling Marcella to do. Marcella's like, dude, really?
Yeah, maybe this is a job for anyone else.
Maybe get Bronski. And he goes,
Yeah, send Bronsky in there. He likes blowing stuff up and has like no moral compuncture at
But
all.
also, I mean, JT probably has noticed that Marcella is the only competent person on his entire team.
I think actually DeLeon and Marcella, which is probably why they're the only two doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
DeLeon's like the quiet guy who gets stuff done and doesn't make a big fuss. He's like, yeah, what do you need, man? I'll take care of it.
But he should at least like pulled Marsala aside and had a talk with him. Like, are you okay with this? If
Right.
not, it's fine.
Hey, Marcella, buddy, I know you took an oath. I get that. You cool with killing your own people? Is that okay? Okay, good. I'm
I
just
think
fine.
Marcella could have explained it to him by like, this would be like if I sent any of you guys to bomb the hair gel factory.
I want you to go. I want you to destroy the Wall Clipper family, company. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% that. God, that's a great way to put it. So that's when Marcus goes to the brig and he offers clemency to all those who wish to join the fleet to fight Neo Sapiens. I start going into freaking Marcus voice.
Right.
He's like, "We are going to liberate Earth. If any of you who would like to join us, please step forward." And then Winfield like steps forward. He's like, "I gotta hear this." And there's like troopers like, "Oh, who are you? Oh, yeah, okay, Admiral, no problem." Um,
But yeah, the way he phrases like you can choose to sit here or you can join the brave individuals or whatever.
who want to liberate the homeworlds.
Right.
Yeah.
Which he's not wrong. I mean, once again, remember when JT Marsh was arrested and the Marcus had his
Mhm.
first flight of fancy. And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna die here in the brig. Let me go fight. Let me get an E-frame and go.
Right.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing, man. I
I mean,
mean,
again, they're put with a pretty complex thing for a kids show here. Is like these people know that Marcus is wrong.
yeah,
They know that fighting for him is hopeless,
yep,
but it's also is the only chance of survival that they have now because they've been sent on this course of action that they
You can go
can't.
down fighting or you
Right.
can sit down and wait for it to come for you.
Right.
yeah.
It's like,
So
who wants to join the light brigade?
yeah, exactly. You'll die, but you won't die sitting in a hole somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at it that way. And Weston, like jumps up, she's like, I think I could I'd like to, sir, and I'd like to I think I talked the others into it, and Marcus is like, yes, it's really good, Lieutenant Weston, but your friend there doesn't seem too happy with it.
Yeah, because Kaz yelled. Like,
So
what?
Dad's
What are
like,
you doing?
what? And yeah,
And she held his hand to shut
he's
him
like,
up.
no, she didn't hold his
And
hand.
then
She squeezed his hand.
then
Yeah.
he's immediately like, okay, I could get on board with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like pain for I like my Dommy mommy. Okay,
Oh
let's
yeah,
do
and
this.
she blamed it on the Neos killed his brother or something like
Last
that. And
attack.
yeah.
Oh well, good. Then I guess Trooper Takagi will be happy to join the fight or whatever he says. Essentially,
Yeah.
It's like,
I think I've said this about Marcus before, but I think particularly your imitation of Marcus needs like the Jerry Clower "How" on it.
Yeah, Weston says she can convince the other prisoners
yeah.
to join in the
I think
fight.
I could convince some other troopers to help with this fight as well. And yeah, Marcus is like, yeah, good,
Yeah,
good.
better you than me. And then Winfield tells her, yeah, y'all can all go. I won't hold you as disloyal if you
Yeah,
go fight.
I kind of like that. The Marcus, yeah, like I said, Winfield's like, I will hold no trooper who helps Marcus out as disloyal. And they're all like, yeah, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, because they don't want to just sit there and die. They'd rather
Yeah.
die fighting because,
Right.
And honestly, everyone seems to really like Winfield as an admiral.
Right.
So it's like, loyalty versus, what's gonna work in the end. Um, yeah, I like that. Once again, this is way too thought-provoking for a kid's show, and like they know it.
This was written to be something like Babylon 5 or something. It wasn't.
100%. That's why I hate it that this is I almost hate that this is animated, but you really couldn't do a lot of it without being animated. But at the same time, this is also great to show kids what a real war could be
Right.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, all down from the racism to the consequences of people dying, and it's rough in this episode.
This series deserves another chance in like a live action
Oh,
format.
100%. Dude, if
Yeah.
they could have spent the kind of money they spent on The Expanse to do something like this,
Hmm.
oh my God. It'll probably never happen,
Mhm.
but
Or even like Starship Troopers or something.
yeah, there's a lot of DNA of Star Trek Troopers in this.
Hmm.
Well, there's a lot of DNA of a lot of things in this. This is like
Right.
if you ever watched, I know you watched Jay, the Secret Galaxy episode about Exosquad
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how murky the rights were with this because
Right.
there's a lot of battle tech stuff that was
Yeah.
used,
Yeah.
and there's so much going on with this, and it was just like a
Oh
miracle.
yeah. Well, Bronski's mech is straight out of BattleTech.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
And Marcel is a bit as well. There's so many like there was a BattleTech show that came out, the cartoon that came out around the same time. I think that they were just like, let's just put it out and see how it goes. It was
Right.
not great animated. It was not written really well, and it
Remember
kind
who
of
wrote
died.
it?
Was that?
You remember who wrote it?
No.
That was Bob Skier.
Who
They
gave
burned
us?
him in effigy at one of the BattleTech
That's
conventions.
right, they did.
They were so mad about that show.
Man, Jehu, I don't know if you know the entire gosh, the controversy about beast machines and Bob Skier.
I don't. I don't.
Oh, that is a whole conversation for another time. That's a lot. Uh,
Right.
yeah, they you basically they Bob Skier got blamed for ruining BattleTech. He got blamed for ruining Transformers, Beast Wars,
Right.
anyways. He got blamed for ruining Ghostbusters for making it too woke or whatever it is.
Right.
Oh
Because he
yeah,
did
Extreme
Ghostbusters
Ghostbusters.
Extreme,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which man, I want to go back and watch it because when I watched that, it was a really good show. Just happened
Right.
to be that one guy's a wheelchair, one guy was Hispanic, and one was a woman. That was the that was the worst egregious thing it did.
Well, Beast Machines was received so poorly that they just started rebooting the entire continuity after that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a hard stop.
Which, up until that point, Beast Wars and Beast Machines still took place in like the G1 universe.
Right.
You know, it was like the next generation to the original series, Star Trek, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, they're like, yeah, we can't really fix this. Let's just start over.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of starting over, we are starting over the same fight we had a little while back as they
Yeah.
approach the Earth fleet of the Earth Neo-Sapien fleet. And Marcus is full of bravado. He's like, "This is it. This is it, soldiers. We are going to go liberate our home planet of Earth."
You know, when they say those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it, they usually mean like over a long period of time, not like
Right.
Not
within like a
3
year.
months or a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
a year.
Yeah.
Well, like a
It's
year
like
and 3
Marcus
months.
learned absolutely nothing from his previous
Well,
defeat.
the thing is, he's not wrong to go after the homeworlds before they start the graph shield again. They don't all know that Neo Sapiens can't conceptualize the imagination to create the graph shield. They just know it was happening.
They
Right.
should know that though, because I got the scientist that created it, and he was there when they were talking about it.
Dude, that scientist right now is put into the he's hanging out with the Ark of the Covenant in some with some
Right. Right.
some men in a warehouse somewhere. They're
Right.
not
They
letting
stuck
him
him in a
out.
box.
They're not letting him out to see the sunshine anytime as soon.
Top men.
Top men.
That
Yeah.
is, that is okay. Not to have another tangent. That is one of the most complete movies I ever have seen.
Um,
It's still to this day. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I mean, Threads had a thing the other day. Name 5 movies you can watch over and over and over, and that was definitely on there.
100% that is.
I still love the hypothesis that Indiana Jones was completely superfluous to that
Oh yeah,
plot.
100% everything of it. The Nazis would have killed themselves in the end.
Yeah,
They would have. They would have just like they would have like their hubris was so great. They would have killed each other
it would have
themselves in the end.
ended the same way whether
Yep.
he showed up or not.
Yeah, but you're there for the adventure, and that's what it's for.
Right.
I mean, okay. Anyways, Karen Allen is still a favorite of mine.
Karen
Uh,
Allen, I my favorite kind of hot is 70s hot.
oh God, yes. And
And even though we're in the 80s at that point, Karen Allen's still 70s hot.
that movie has such a soft filter on it.
Hmm.
It had a very late 70s action movie soft filter on the whole thing.
Yeah,
And I love it for that.
I do too.
That's
Well,
why
there's
it's so
always decade lag. Like what people think of as the 60s is actually the early 70s.
well,
Right.
yeah, true.
Well,
You're not
and
wrong.
the 80s didn't figure out what the 80s was till like 83, 84. Like
Yeah.
if you watch like the first season of Cheers, everybody's still wearing like tight slacks and like snap button shirts and stuff.
Ted
And
It's
it's
Danson
still
especially.
disco. Yeah.
the
Ted Danson
sixth season, and
especially.
like it's like bright patterns, and Rebecca has shoulder pads,
God,
3 foot out in each direction.
she had the
Yeah.
biggest shoulder pads ever.
Yeah.
God, yes.
Or was it Adrian Zmed was hosting Dance Fever like well into like
Right.
84,
I mean,
85, I think.
Dude.
dude, look at
Mm.
Solid Gold.
Yeah.
Solid Gold belonged in the late 70s and it was right into the early 80s.
Mm.
Solid Gold. Anyways, but what they don't expect to happen is the Mars fleet goes, "Hey guys, check us out." And then
Right.
it's as big as the Earth fleet. The Mars was like, "Oh, it's the Neo Sabian Mars fleet. This is bigger than the Earth fleet."
And
Oh,
why wouldn't you expect that? Because you sandwich yourself right in between them.
Right. Right.
does I think someone needs to tell Marcus. Okay, then the show is not very science-based because Earth and Mars are really close together. They're really not. But
Mm.
let's leave that aside. Yeah, you go like say like, okay, well, we're gonna go past Mars. It's cool. We're gonna go after Earth, right? No one's gonna notice. Yeah,
You would
and
want to wait till Mars was on the other side of the sun from Earth.
Right.
um, knowing and thinking isn't really the strong suit of Matthew Marcus.
No.
Yeah.
He's all about he is look, and if any Marines are listening to the show, I apologize. You know your own people, your friends in the Corps. He is such a Marine. He's like, I'm gonna go with bravado. We're gonna win because we have a
Right.
spirit. And I love that.
Right.
This is really bad right now. Yeah,
Well,
so
he's obviously never heard of how bad it is to fight a war on two fronts.
Right.
Yeah.
they call
What
them
if we
Crayon.
sandwiched ourselves right in between their fleets? We
I'm
could
gonna
take
be
them
the
by
salami.
surprise. They'd never expect us to be there in the
Yeah.
worst possible spot ever.
So yeah, the fight goes badly. The fight
Right.
is just it immediately goes bad. It doesn't last very
It's a
long.
turkey shoot.
It really is. And I say it's a very Robotech-y looking battle too.
Oh yeah.
They do that exact scene with the far distance of all the popping explosions and stuff,
Yeah.
which I thought was great.
Oh yeah. There is so much destruction. There
Yeah.
are there are thousands of people dying in seconds.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is this is like the God the it's like D-Day,
Right.
but they're all on spaceships.
Right.
They're just like they're taking shots at ships that are flying and trying to run cover. Even like Kaz and Weston go and they try to hang out by one ship at one point. It gets shot, explodes. They go tumbling around.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And
Yeah.
Weston's in tears going, all those people just died. Look at
Right.
they're all gone.
Once again, not a kids show.
Yeah.
Right.
They-
Right.
There are thousands of people dying in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah,
And-
they just lost half the fleet. The
Yeah.
fleet that was working.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
And
so
even the Resolute is just like getting shredded.
yeah. Oh, she talks about the Resolute's getting chopped up. And yeah, I mean, It is. There's no way around it, and it's getting just blown apart. And there are
Yeah.
ships like around it, and it's space, so you should see ships blowing above it. But we won't get into that too much. And Marcus is you see people falling out on the bridge. It's like the Star Trek thing where a console explodes and they fall over, pass
Yeah.
out and stuff. And he's like saying like turn towards the main battle fleet or their battleship.
Yeah, he wants to take out like their flagship.
Yeah, and Marcus is up there doing that, but Winfield's up there with him because they all kind of let out of the brig. He's like, Marcus, the ship's falling apart. It's breaking apart. You got to do something. He's like, oh, we can still fight. And they all go to escape pods. They all to lifeboats,
Yeah.
Right.
Or life crafts.
life crafts. Yeah,
Yeah.
Which it sounds like a really crappy band name.
Yeah.
Like they'd be like praise metal.
I was gonna say that was like a 90s like Christian like striper wannabe group.
Even worth Striper.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
But Marcus turns the Resolute towards the Olympus Mons, the flagship of the Neo-Sapien fleet, and the call abandon ship is made. Like Marcus is an idiot. Marcus has caused so many problems, but I love this entire sequence. Well, he doesn't go down. He doesn't go. He doesn't leave. He goes down with the ship. He's in control of this ship, and he's gonna stay with it. And
I don't think he's doing this for honorable reasons though, because he knows this is a complete fiasco. Is his fault.
Right.
he's
And he-
accepting responsibility.
I don't think he's even accepting. I think he's doing this to skirt responsibility because he knows he's gonna get court-martialed.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
He survived
He-
this. Like, oh,
He
if I
probably,
die, I might be a hero.
well, I mean, honestly, let's be honest with Marcus. He has constantly failed upwards. There's
Right.
no other reason why he should be here besides the fact he knows how to take orders when he wants to.
Right.
He's pulling his George Armstrong Custer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
And
he is way outclassed, so it's like, well, if I die, I don't have to deal with any consequences.
that could be that too. Um, Look, no, not to make over I guess analyze the scene. This is the one of the only scenes left in animation that kind of gets me all choked up.
Right.
And it does. It really because you get invested in the show, you get invested in the characters. The Neo Sapiens are going off the lifeboat because this kind of drifting into space. Kaz takes Weston's like magnetic, I guess, grappler
her
thing,
winch.
throws it on the lifeboat, and they start taking it. And there's Neo Sapiens trying to blow it up, and they obviously
Yeah.
don't care about the Geneva Conventions anymore.
Yeah, well, she was gonna go after it herself, and he says, "No, let me help."
Guys, what are you crazy?
Yeah, yeah, and
And,
then Winfield's on that particular life craft, and he tells Takagi to go get Marcus.
yeah, yeah. It says he's like, go get Marcus off the Resolute. He's like, but it's getting blown up. He's like, that's an order, trooper. Okay. And yeah,
See, and I think he wanted Marcus to put him on trial for the mutiny.
maybe so. I also think that Winfield just like he's like, look, yeah, maybe he learned. I don't know.
Right.
I know. I think he was done, and he was like, "Yeah, he screwed this up. He's
Maybe.
gonna pay the consequences for it."
Maybe so.
I want him to see what he did.
Yeah,
Maybe so. That's there's some ways to look at it because it's very ambiguous.
yeah,
And so yeah, he goes over there. He shows up on the Resolute. He jumps on the bridge with a rebreather on. He's
yeah.
like, "Let's go, Captain Marcus." He's like, "No, off my bridge, Schuba."
Oh, he shoots at him.
Yeah,
he shoots at him
fires
multiple
at him.
times.
Yeah,
He's like, as long as the Resolute can maneuver, she can fight. This is still my bridge, Schuba.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he's like, tell Winfield to watch. Tell him Matthew Marcus knew how to die.
yeah.
Like, man,
Which is an objectively awesome line.
it is a freaking cool line.
He could have just done this by himself, though.
Right.
I know. It is a really cool line though. That is the I'm going to die. I'm going to die with in a great ball of fire, and it's going to be awesome.
Right.
And
I just in my notes I put Marcus blew up real stupid.
he did. Oh, he totally did. And so that's when Takagi comes like, he wouldn't leave, sir. He told you about watching. And we have us like, what? Oh no. And then the Resolute hits the Olympus Mons, the main flagship of the Neo Sapien Order, which not a bad, if you got to go out, at least take the main ship with you.
Right.
Not a bad way to do it. And he's like, you didn't have to, Matthew. He's kind of the whole thing with
But
like,
what a waste to waste half the fleet just to take out one ship now. It's
Right.
like,
yeah, it is. It's really dumb. It was like, hey, let's cripple us even further than we already were.
I'm gonna get in the ring with Mike Tyson just so I can give him a wet willy before he knocks my head off.
Yep.
Ooh, I bet
Yeah.
Mike Tyson wouldn't like a wet willy.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I bet that would upset him.
I'd be just like Marcus. I'd be gone.
Mike's like, I don't like how you do that, man. I don't like what my ear all wet.
Tell
Don't do
Evan to
that.
watch. Boo knows how to get his butt kicked.
I, I think you should tell your friends to watch when I take you down. Yeah, that was a really bad Mike Tyson impression. I'm sorry.
He's gonna come get you now.
Probably will.
You're
Him and
next
his
on the list.
tiger.
So
He's gonna
amazingly,
bite your ear off.
Amazingly.
amazingly, this episode isn't over.
Yeah,
Dude,
this
it
is not
keeps
the end of the
skipping.
episode.
When we go to another scene after this, I was like, oh man, something bad's really gonna happen now.
Dude, it's the episode does not let up. It crams so much into 22 minutes. Yeah, we're back on Mars,
Yeah.
and we got Dalian and Marsala infiltrating the Brood test lab area. And
And
I,
baby Neos look like Manglores. I don't know if y'all ever saw Manglore, the toys that the action figures you could like chop up and put back
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you put them in the slime and it would like renew the rubber. That's what they look
Well,
like, Manglores.
yeah, actually, that's pretty appropriate for what happens here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they like Dalian tries to get in, and yeah, Marcel's like, hold on, bam, 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 kicks it in. Dalian's like, yeah, I was gonna do that. Okay, yeah, sure you were, man. So they go in, like, they see this like this whole lab where there's a Mangalore on a table,
A
and
Neo Manglore.
Neo Mangalore, and it reads out some readout and calls it a beta, because you know how we've talked about Alpha Neo
Yeah.
Sapiens. It refers to it as a beta, so maybe it's like it kind of falls apart. And Marcellus says something about, when you are basically trying to improve a species, a race, there's a lot of
Testing.
experimentation, testing,
Yeah.
and failure.
Yeah. Basically, they test out the genes and keep resetting to see what works.
Yeah, 100% that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there you go. Improving a race takes much experimentation and failure. That's what the line was.
Yeah.
Omelets
Yeah. And he just
all
like
that.
melts back down into goo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Marcella, Marcella and De Leon go and they find the big chamber. You see all the Neo Sapien bebes.
Yeah.
They're in
We
big
say
test
babies,
tubes.
but really they're all like full size, like
Oh yeah, the
humanoids.
clones.
Right.
Yeah.
They're clones with tattoos on their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in, Phaeton, not Phaeton, gosh. Marcella is like looking around. He knows what this place is. He knows what the implications are. And like Daleon's like leaning over the railing, like we, basically talk about taking out this entire complex.
Yeah. There's thousands of them, just
There's
like
thousands,
Marsh said there would be. Yeah.
enough to replace every human.
Hmm.
So they're getting ready to just get rid of all people and replace them with Neo Sapiens,
Yeah.
which, it kind of puts in perspective how bad this is. They're about to have a full-on genocide of all
Right.
natural humans, just
Yeah.
replacing Neo Sapiens, because you can make more of those.
Well, and I mean, from their point of view, they're superior to us, so they're just going to replace us.
Yeah, in a lot of ways they are. They just saw the imagination, because they're not programmed that way. They're not built that way.
Yeah.
And Adalian's like walking out like, all right, yeah, I guess this let's get this going. Marcel's like looking over at all the baby
Babies.
baby Neo Sapiens. And he gets up, he walks over, and he makes his move. He backhands Dalian,
Yeah.
that he know and he hears the Neo Sapien troopers coming up. He's like,
Well, he hits the
Yeah,
alarm.
he
oh,
sounds the
he
alarm,
sounds the alarm. That's right. He sounds the alarm, and
which
the troopers walk up, the guards.
He alerts them to a Terran conspiracy.
when
Yes.
when he pulled the alarm, I audibly said out loud to no one but the cats to hear, "Ooh, twist!"
Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot in this episode. I think like
Yeah,
that's what Boo said to me earlier. It's like there's a lot of twists in this episode. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Dalian asks, "What are you doing?" He
What
says,
are you
"I'm
doing?
saving my people."
Saving my people. And he immediately goes to the guards. So he has his hands up. He's like, "Tell go to Phaeton. Tell him I've uncovered a Terran conspiracy. Tell him it's Marcella. He'll know."
Yeah,
And
like
that's
they're
like
old
dun
buddies.
dun dun. Which will it be revealed next episode how Marcella and Phaeton know each other so well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Is it going to be a full flashback episode?
No, not full flashback episode. There's a bit of a flashback, but not full on.
Yeah.
It's
It's the way they keep doing us now. Like you watch, Invincible, or you watch Walking Dead, or you watch Monarch, and this would be the point where they cut back and give you the full backstory episode to stall on what's
Right.
happened at the series. Yeah.
no, it's a little clip. It's a small clip to tell you what's going on. And
Yeah.
yeah, actually there's a lot of I w- there's a God, I'm blanking on the terminology. It's not a monologue when the two people are having a conversation. Um, it,
Dialogue?
it's a dialogue. Thank you.
Yeah.
My God, there's a dialogue that happens soon, and a lot will be revealed, and a lot of reasons why things are happening the way they are revealed. So, yeah, it's God. I can't believe I can't think of the word dialogue. Um,
Long day.
yes, it's been a
I want
long
the
day.
translation for all their head tattoos.
That needs to be okay. In the same way that Beast Wars had a language, like Beast Wars, the Maxwells and Predacons had their language.
Yeah,
Um,
their alphabets.
yeah. My ex-wife's roommate, Will. He actually sat there and like translated it on paper. I've got one of the sheets somewhere. He sat there and like figured it out. He did the Rosetta Stone and
He
his
cracked it right at the end of season one.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was an episode that had all that basically had the Rosetta Stone on a screen.
Yeah, it scrolled by in order.
But because he wasn't well known in the fan community, his didn't get accepted as the big one. And someone else did, which the other guy who did it, no hate because he's a good guy. But I mean, yeah, it was really cool to have this whole thing done. They need to have that with the Neo Sapien head tattoos, and I don't think there's going to be a language there. I think they're just like, here I've got a straw and a
Right.
gun.
Right.
Do like this. Oh, hey, I've got a mouse. Okay, head tattoo done.
It's
That
like the Predator's countdown on his
oh yeah,
arm.
Right.
complete nonsense.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of cool. Because there's they just throw random Christmas tree head should be like something spectacular, but he'll never
Right.
do it.
Which way does the triangle point, and the color that represent like what they were doing before?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid you're gonna be really disappointed in
It's
that.
like Chakotay's face tattoo.
Doodle face, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be an episode where someone like he was sweating and someone grabbed like touched his face and he got smeared. That would have been the best thing ever. Um, which that's a character I learned to like more than I expected to. Chakotay. I couldn't stand him, and yeah, he got better.
Right.
Eh, Most of them got better.
I think dueling with Seska helped with that.
Yeah, definitely not Neelix though. Neelix always was terrible. So
Yeah.
even became part of Tuvok.
Snarf, snarf.
Yeah, yeah.
He was space snarf.
Oh God, no wonder he sucks so bad. That makes so much sense. But
That he was almost a treasure troll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nuts. Man, I'm really kind of disappointed that Tom missed this whole thing, but
Yeah, I don't know if this is possible for you to do, Evan, but could you just leave this on after we all depart and then he
Wait for him
shows
to
up
show
and
up.
no one's here?
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I may have to do that. Everyone
Just have a
leave.
video of like the Resolute burning.
Oh, that's the other thing I love in this episode, the silent destruction of the Resolute. It had just music behind it
Yeah.
until it blew up. It was such a nice just tonal piece.
Again, the guys who make this are definitely fans of like real movies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm sure they had to like get this out just as quickly as an episode of Transformers or X-Men or something,
Mhm.
but it seems like they were getting more of themselves into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is what is the movie that that Buzz Dixon talked about, like he God, he loved so much. It was man, I'm gonna blank on this. The there was the kid in the movie who like held up his hands like okay, I'm a blank on what it is. But anyways, that World War II movie. Well,
Mm.
not World War II is so much. I think it was the colonization of India by the British.
Oh, you're talking about Bob Budiansky.
Bob Budiansky. Oh God,
Yeah,
yes.
it was Gunga Din.
Good get in, yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that people like Bob Budiansky, Buzz Dixon, they would write this after their favorite movies like Gun Get In. They would
Right.
write this about like they would write this about they would have the Magnificent Seven in their heads writing plot points. They would have so many cool ideas and like let's make this show out of all these ideas in our heads. All the movies we loved growing up. It is just like Beast Wars, especially the second season. Bob Ford and Larry DiTilio just made a show and they loved it, and that's when Hasbro kind of reeled them in on season three. But
Mm.
season two was just like it was the best of the seasons for that reason. I feel like
Well,
in
what it
this,
is when it gets really successful, then the suits get nervous,
yeah,
Right.
and then they want to exert control to try to keep it from getting messed up, and invariably they always mess it up.
Well, I mean, in another comics guy, it's Chris Claremont. He takes X-Men from a property that no one cares about to
Hmm.
Marvel's biggest property, and they're like, "Well, we can't just let this belong to Chris Claremont. Like
Oh yeah.
we've got to make sure that it's taken care of."
What if
It's
he messes it up?
right,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's been doing it great for 17 years, but sure, let's take it out from under him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same
Yeah,
thing.
I feel like Bob Budiansky got his licks in though the first 2.5 years.
He
I
Oh
did.
think
yeah.
I think with him, what pulled the rug out from under him was more just always having to introduce something new. Like
Yeah.
by around
He
like issue 35 or something, you could just tell, okay, here's some more crap.
he
Here's
said
some
it,
more
it
guy.
burned him out, but he made it all the way to Micromasters.
Right,
Which
he
is
did.
saying something.
And
Yeah.
he did those great wrestling issues with Micromasters.
That was his
God,
final
yes.
issue, actually.
And broke kayfabe way before that was a thing.
Man, that's a good point. You know, that's I guess that's where like almost like American producers and European producers like the UK
Hmm.
where they had like Simon Furman had a lot more, you know, I guess a lot more I
He had more
guess
leeway to do what
a
he
lot more
wanted.
leeway.
Right.
They gave a lot more rope to
Right.
make things with. Where here they were very, very tight on it.
Right.
Well, they were just assigning him like filler stories. Here, just fill in the gaps in between issues.
Right.
Since they get twice as many issues as we do. So yeah, he was doing that. So he got to play around with it as long as he didn't mess up what Buddy Ansky was doing.
Right. As long as he got back to the right spot by the end of it, he could
Mhm.
do like a giant time travel epic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
and then
he could flesh out the characters better, which he
Right,
did a
right.
lot of.
But that's where the
Yeah.
Wreckers came from. The Wreckers are characters they never really used.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he made one of the best known UK arcs using
Right.
the Wreckers.
And then by the time he had control of like both sides of the publication, it's like Hasbro had kind of just given up caring at that
Right.
point.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, do what you want to. I don't care.
Well,
And
they
he
were
did-
mad because the movie bombed.
Right.
Yeah.
So they just didn't whatever, just keep shucking robots into the comic so we can keep selling toys. We're not
Well,
putting any more money into this.
Oh, Transformers the movie. It seems like we were going to do something with that someday.
I heard something about that, and I promised people who listen to the show about something about that, and I've forgotten all this. It's I wonder what happened there.
I
I
keep
feel
waiting to
like
see when they
I feel like
announce
if
the.
you've only tuned in to watch Exosquad, like Ed is like a character like Donald Penobscot or something. Like just like someone that the characters talk about, but you don't really see them very much.
He's someone that was
Who
in
was
this.
Norm's wife on Cheers? Was it
He's Norm's
Vera?
wife on Cheers. That's a
Yes.
Oh
way
God, yes.
good call, Boo. That's a way better one. Because you actually do end up seeing Donald Penobscot eventually. You never see Norm's wife.
Yeah. What was her name? Vera? Was that her name?
Vera, yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. God
You know, there's
roll.
an all Cheers channel on Pluto.
Is there?
You just turn it
And
on and Cheers will just play all day.
I keep wanting to watch Cheers again, so I need to check that out. That was such a great show.
It aged all right.
It
Yeah,
did.
it did.
Yeah.
Well, you take out Diane's shoulder pads
Hmm.
and Ted
Well, see,
Dancy's
Rebecca had the shoulder pads. Diane
Yeah.
still dressed like it was the 70s.
Yeah.
You're right, you're
She
right.
she was
I
very
remember
mousy.
Yes.
I remember as a kid, I thought Rebecca was way hotter, but as an adult, I've gained an appreciation for Diane.
Diane.
She was more annoying, but I think she was hotter.
But she also wasn't a Scientologist, and there you go. So on that note, I'm sorry.
It's all about Carla in reality.
And here's the thing, God, I don't know why on this podcast I'm such a pervert. I'm not, everywhere else I'm Niles Crane, but for some reason here, if you check it out, Carla has kind of a rockin' bod.
And she kind of looks like
her
Dio.
head, not great, but her bod,
she's Dio.
Wow, look, I got Evan finally.
She's Ronnie James Dio. I want to hear her sing. Oh, holy diver. Yeah, but the last time I saw her, and I know she's still around doing stuff, but the last time I saw her, was that outtake from Always Sunny, where it was like the joke where they tell Charlie Day, it's like, okay, it's your turn. He goes he's got to go to Danny's trailer and do things for Danny because it's his turn to pay up, and that's when he's like, we don't have to do this. He's like, yeah, and Danny DeVito's in his robe, like, come on in, kid, let's do this done. And I can't remember her real name, but Carla's behind the camera.
Rhea Perlman.
Real Perma. She's like, yeah, come on, I got this ready. She's like, got a camcorder.
she was in the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Oh, she was. You're right.
Yeah.
She was. Yeah. Whenever I see her, it just makes me smile.
Yeah.
She's such a fun person.
She was good in everything.
And honestly, she's married to Danny DeVito, man. That's got to be a fun household.
That really does have to be a fun.
It's got to be. And they're about the same height.
I hope it's not a naked household, though. You know how sometimes when you're a kid, you go over to a friend's house and it was like, oh, this is a naked house. I don't want to be here in this house. I hope they don't have a naked house.
I never had that experience.
You didn't grow up in Milton.
I didn't. I grew up in school. I grew up in Warrington.
Right. I mean, that's, that is its own thing.
That is just Milton of the Milton.
Actually, you know what? A girl I dated who had a naked house lived in Warrington.
My whole house I grew up in, when I was like 5 years old, it became a car stereo like shop or something at one point. And it got painted like Pepto-Bismol pink and white.
I mean, I do think at one point Warrington had a all car stereo economy.
Oh, 100%, because you had it right outside the base.
Right.
Right outside the Naval Air Station. Probably there was probably like a Chevy dealership and another used car dealership,
right.
And the car stereo shops were all around that, and 100%, and obviously thrift shops and pawn shops.
Right.
I always thought those places were fronts.
Well, they probably were, man. I just wasn't into the meth.
It's like, how many like car stereos can you really be selling to keep like a prime piece of real estate like going?
Obviously, you never went to the TNW flea market.
Oh no, they always had those in flea markets with like the boxes and stuff, and the stuff that was stolen out of other people's cars.
Yep. All the stores around the TW flea market, and you know this, Jehu, the TW flea market. Every time you leave the grounds of the TW flea market, there was like car stereo, like storefronts or
Right.
pawn shops. It was
Right.
like you left the flea market, you kind of got out of that flea market feeling, but you never couldn't quite leave it because they would still bring you in from the pawn shops and the car stereo
Right.
shops.
Right.
You had to keep driving to get away from it all. It was
Yeah,
like
it
a
was like a
black
whole
hole.
flea market ecosystem around the flea market.
It was like a black hole of like a black cesspool hole of hopes and dreams that went to die.
Right, right. It definitely had that smell of despair about it.
Did your flea
That
markets have like all the like Looney Tunes gangster shirts like
oh god
everywhere?
Definitely.
Like
yes,
all the yeah.
that and the then the Asian store where it had someone who a woman who is very like she looked like she just didn't care about her life anymore, but she's very like someone's Asian grandma, and they sold really bad knockoff toys in like really brightly colored like Asian dresses and like flags and stuff. It was weird.
Yeah,
That
that's where I'd go get all my knockoff Transformers, like the big like horrible plastic like Darkwing and Dreadwind
oh
that don't
yeah,
really
Right.
oh
fit
yeah.
together.
You like
Yeah.
take it out of the package, you can just go "Nyeh," with the plastic. It wouldn't
Yeah.
break because it would just bend. Yes. It
And,
was
it's right next to the place that has just nothing but knives.
yes. Yes.
Right.
It's like
Knives
knives and like Super Nintendo games or
and
something
shot
Right.
like that.
glasses.
It's like- yeah.
God. I think it's just like that everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. On that note, can we kill this episode for this week?
Yeah, we gave Tom enough time.
Yeah, Tom, you had your chance, man.
Right.
He
Y'all,
didn't swear loyalty to Marcus, so he got left in the brig.
Right.
you're gonna die, trooper. All right. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you next time. Later.
Later, fellas.
Bye.